Let's say in a hypothetical scenario, you had some friends, and with these friends, you wanted to impress them using features from 1.20. How would you actually go about doing that? Well, I'm glad you asked. One of the most obvious things you could do is actually show your friends a seed with a huge cherry blossom biome. Now, your friend might have hypothetically seen a cherry grove in its typical normal size, but never one like really huge and really massive. And if for some reason that didn't impress your friends, then how about showing off your netherite armor with netherite trims on it? In this scenario, it's showing off quite a number of things. First off, that you got enough diamonds to get yourself some diamond gear, as well as getting yourself enough netherite for netherite gear, as well as getting yourself enough smithing templates to get yourself that netherite gear, and somehow on top of that, having enough netherite extra to netherite trim your entire netherite gear. Like, seriously, this armor is probably the most expensive armor you'd ever see inside the game. Like, what? 8 netherite ingots, a whole bunch of diamonds, like... This is the bling stuff. This is the bling stuff now. And if you really have a lot of extra netherite, then you could, of course, trim that on top of leather armor, too. I mean, let's be honest, leatherite armor is such a massive waste, but if you have enough netherite to waste it on leather armor, then that's a big old flex in my own opinion. Speaking of big flexes, another thing you could actually do to impress your friends is maybe going out across the world and being able to find literally every single type of armor trim across the world. Doing this in especially a random seed would just be that much more impressive. Like, you've had to go thousands upon thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of blocks across your entire world to get yourself literally every single type of trim. And since we're still on the topic of trims, if I knew someone who found literally every single type of armor trim across the world, as well as being able to display them in a wide variety of ways, no, I don't know what I'd be doing then. I don't know how I'd be able to respond to that. Probably by looking towards other ways to try and impress my friends. Specifically with the bamboo wood. If you didn't know already, bamboo is created from 9 pieces of bamboo, which isn't the cheapest bit of wood in the world, but fortunately bamboo is already an item you could get inside of current modern day Minecraft. Which probably means it's ideal to start stocking up on some bamboo right now. I mean, that's literally something I've already prepared for by collecting literally over 1 million pieces of bamboo. Now, I'm not necessarily saying you need to collect over 1 million pieces of bamboo to impress your friends, but if say you already had a pretty decent stockpile, enough to build a whole bunch of things with the new bamboo wood, then, I don't know, that would be kind of an eye-opener for me. Speaking of farming, even though we don't have access to these yet, we can't deny that torch flowers are a pretty cool looking flower. And bringing sniffers back from extinction is already pretty cool enough, but what if you actually also found a way to actually farm the torch flowers from the sniffer? I've tried, I've not been able to do it, but how cool would it be if somehow you actually managed to find a way to farm these and have a huge mass quantity of these torch flowers spreading across your entire world? Circling back onto the seed part of flexings here, friends, if you manage to find a seed with a whole bunch of desert temples or desert wells or something like that to get yourself a whole bunch of suspicious sand, which you could then use to get yourself a whole bunch of different types of clay pots and decorations and things like that, then it'd be kind of hard to compete when decorating with clay pots, huh? Or I guess even with the underwater runes, like any way you could actually get yourself the clay pottery shards will be a really good way on flexing on your one friends. And if for some reason or another none of these can manage to impress your friends, well, I guess worst case scenario, you could always start a camel Uber service.